China says in order to have substantive negotiations, you have to bring down your 145% tariffs. Are you open to pulling back your tariffs in order to get China to the negotiating table?
No.
Yeah, that's right. So this only shows you who he cares about, not the small businesses, but the big corporations. Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by, supporting your girl on this channel. So credit goes to the creators in this video. So guys, in today's video, on today's version of FAFO Chronicles,
It's really crazy to me that people aren't freaking out about the fact that basically all American stores are going to be empty in like 5 or 6 weeks, just because our president's tariffs essentially doubles anything that's not from America in price, meaning that any sensible business owner could not buy any foreign good to sell anymore, right? So what does that mean? That means that the stores are just going to be empty. Okay. People are panic buying stuff because they know this is coming and they're not going to have anything to replace it. All we have is our American companies, and American companies just do not cover the full range of stuff that America buys. Okay. And given the fact that the president is actively bullying companies for informing their customers about why things are going to be more expensive, everything's just going to be empty and no one's going to understand why. So I'm telling you now, and I'm also telling you, if you have any kind of savings whatsoever, don't save up for the vacation, save up for like toilet paper, canned foods, and things like that, because America's going to have nothing pretty soon.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What did Jerome Powell just say?
If the large increases in tariffs that have been announced are sustained, they're likely to generate a rise in inflation, a slowdown in economic growth, and an increase in unemployment.
So Jerome Powell, the guy who's in charge of keeping our economy from falling off a cliff, just warned that Trump's tariffs could raise inflation, slow down the economy, and increase unemployment. So Trump's brilliant plan to make America great again is actually going to make everything more expensive, kill jobs, and tank the economy. Because nothing says economic genius like taxing the stuff that we import, blaming China, and then acting shocked when jobs disappear and prices go up. It's like setting your kitchen on fire, then getting upset because it's hot. You see, this is what happens when you elect a guy who has no idea how tariffs work and thinks that trade wars are easy to win. But hey, at least Trump and Republicans are working hard to make sure billionaires get another tax cut.
We have some breaking news. Donald Trump has turned the U.S. foreign policy into a billionaire's side hustle. This time, not just about tariffs. It's about Trump using America's economic power to help Elon Musk get richer. And the proof is in the leaked government cables. We're talking about trade threats, foreign leaders under pressure, and Starlink deals magically getting approved after Trump's tariffs come down. According to the Washington Post, Trump is using U.S. tariffs to pressure other countries, and behind the scenes, his team is pushing them to approve Starlink. In Lesotho, India, Cambodia, even Bangladesh, foreign leaders approved Starlink right after Trump hit them with tariffs. International State Department memos say this isn't a coincidence. They name Starlink directly. They say U.S. embassies are helping Musk's company get access, and countries are doing it to get trade relief. And remember, Musk gave Trump and the Republicans $277 million. He now works in Trump's administration overseeing Doge. This isn't national security. It's not diplomacy. It's a billionaire's pipeline funded by the U.S. policy. Trump says it's about beating China, but it looks a lot more like helping the biggest donor cash in. This is what corruption in plain sight looks like. Follow me.
I didn't call them stupid. I would never. What I said is that they appeared to have bad luck when it came to thinking. That's different. Totally different.
Imagine being a teacher or a principal in a school in a red state which depends on funding, federal funding from the Department of Education, and still voting for Donald Trump. What am I talking about? Watch.
CNN analysis found the 15 states that most rely on federal funding for its public schools in 2022 all voted for Trump.
And I voted for President Trump.
I mean, you're an educator. You didn't vote for Trump eliminating federal funds.
No, I did not vote for that. I voted for President Trump to make America first again. If we have
You fell for a slogan.
Then that's going to mean bigger classroom sizes. I would lose teachers, first and foremost. It's devastating.
I don't think that anyone in our county wants to cut our school funding. I don't think that anyone voted for that.
Do you mind if I ask who you voted for in the election?
I voted for Donald Trump.
We all know and understand that red states, the education is abysmal, that they are always on the bottom of the docket when it comes to test scores, reading levels. They are horrible. And here we have two educators that know that their states, their schools depend on federal funding, depend on them, yet they didn't bother to do the basic research of what their candidate was going to do. They fell for a slogan. Instead of listening to all the times Trump said he was going to get rid of the Department of Education, that he was going to go after LGBTQ people, that he was going to get rid of DEI, that he was going to do all of these things, and looking at the bills that have been happening in red states, instead of actually doing the minimal bit of research, they fell for a slogan and thought, well, I never thought that this would happen. So I guess these red states are just going to have to pick themselves up by the bootstraps, right? Because they voted for this, and now they're getting what they voted for. All my love.
$4.2 million. I want you to remember that number. $4.2 million. Republicans are now trying to undo the madness because they're realizing that they have consolidated too much power in the executive branch. They gave him wide sweeping power that no other president has ever had. Right? So the country's on fire, the stock market is crashing, and the bodies of servicemen who were killed in a training exercise are returning to Dover Air Force Base. And do we know where syphilitic Sidney is right now? He's golfing. That's right. Golfing. $4.2 million is what it costs us taxpayers every time he goes golfing. But what makes today really interesting is there was an issue, so he couldn't land in Palm Beach with Air Force One. So they had to land at Miami International. And then, instead of driving in the motorcade, which is only an hour and a half drive, give or take, from Miami to West Palm Beach, he flew in Marine One. Because he didn't want to be bothered with traffic. But we're all supposed to believe that they're all about cutting fraud and waste. He's the biggest fraud and the biggest piece of waste that there is. But I digress. But yet, we are literally on the verge of destruction. And he's golfing. And MAGA got nothing to say. They lost their minds because Obama wore a tan suit. But they got no problem with him burning down the country. Well, some of them do, I guess. The ones that are now coming out and saying, oh no, we didn't think the tariffs, no, we didn't know, oh my God. That part.
There are reports coming from Washington, D.C. this evening that ICE agents attempted to raid a restaurant in the DuPont Circle area called Ching Chang. When the plain-clothed agents arrived at the restaurant, a manager confronted them and said that they needed a warrant. The agents stated that they did not need a warrant and they would be entering the kitchen. The front of the house staff then barricaded the doors and refused to allow the ICE agents into the kitchen. The agents eventually gave up and left. Even though this is such a small victory, this is one of the very few things that I've heard recently that has made me feel proud to be an American again. These people are heroes. So if anyone in the DC area is looking for a place to have a meal, let's show the employees of Ching Chang some love. Things seem hopeless right now, but we all need to continue to fight and protest, even in the little ways that we can. Together, we will make America great again. Just kidding.
I did vote for Trump, and now I will deal with the aftermath of the tariffs. I compared 2024 first quarter to 2025 first quarter. I am down 70%. I'm not willing to say that that's due to the decisions of the administration yet, because my business does run in cycles. When it comes to the items that I import directly from China, like the pens, pencils, coffee mugs, keychains, calculators, that's all been affected immediately. I also had a quote for rubber ducks that I was working on, 5,000 rubber ducks. And my unit cost went from below 30 cents to just below 50 cents overnight. Consequently, that order of ducks is on hold. I also have 10,000 poker chips on hold. I have 2,000 hats on hold. This is all merchandise I could be selling right now. Yes, I do have some investments that are down, which is affecting me on the personal side. Now we're not sure which direction we want to go.
More and more people are saying they'll never forgive those who voted the Orange Menace into office, and I agree. Some are saying that those who regret their vote should be welcomed back in with open arms. No. And here's why, because they're not going to learn their lesson unless they learn it the hard way. They were warned about what would happen. They were warned about what would affect them personally. The only reason they regret their vote is because they're just sitting there yelling, "You're hurting the wrong people." They didn't think they would be affected, even though we warned them. So let them learn the hard way. You cannot educate them. They're not going to learn. You don't have to engage with them, though. You don't have to go after them. You don't have to invest your time and energy into trying to educate them. Because again, they're going to learn everything the hard way. Things have to get so very bad for them personally that they will never make that mistake again. And that's the only way they're going to learn.
A while ago, I did a video about how this computer guy who fixes my computer had no idea what a tariff was, and he thought it was something China would have to pay, Trump supporter. And I tried to explain to him what a tariff was, and he was quite baffled. And I was saying these tariffs are going to make computers much more expensive, and this guy has a computer business. And I could tell it sort of went over his head, probably because we haven't had tariffs on computers in a while, so this was a new concept for him. Well, fast forward a couple of months, and today I get an email from his office, encourage everyone to buy now. Because of tariffs, prices are going to go up. I thought, wow. You know, it took a couple months, but you finally figured out what a tariff is, and now it's impacting your business. You're worried because with higher prices means fewer people can afford to buy your computers. So yeah, he's a little anxious now. I guess it's an FAFO.
So now I guess he has found out that he will be the one to pay the tariff, not the company he's buying from, and not the government, right? Tariffs, the only people who suffer for these tariffs are the consumers. We say it over and over again. Those small business owners will suffer for these tariffs, and they're already finding out. So you sell electronics, you deal with electronics, and it's just going to get tougher, right? Guys, what do you think about this in the comment section? Because everywhere is just tensed up right now. There's so much uncertainty, right? Nobody knows what tomorrow will bring. Nobody knows what tomorrow, when we wake up tomorrow, nobody knows what we are going to be finding out. But guys, let me know what you think in the comment section about this particular FAFO Chronicles and all the things that these people have said. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in my next video. Please don't forget to stay safe. Mental health is important no matter what is going on. Ciao.